We're here, Vectors 2019, day 2, talking with CamCloud's Andre Fontana. Andre, thanks for joining me. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
So, we're here day 2. What are your thoughts about the event so far?
I think it is absolutely amazing. We've got more people here that are interested in technology, which is always the best, right? That's why people come. They come to learn, they come to see what's going on, and the organization that SkySwitch has put on for this event is really just top notch right now. So I'm lucky to be here, I'm happy to be here, and I'm also learning things myself.
Always good to have that dual opportunity. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with SkySwitch.
Sure. So CamCloud is a video software as a service company. We ultimately provide the platform for SkySwitch to resell into their resellers program so that the resellers can sell it to the businesses that they sell to or their customers. And what it does is that it allows their customers to look 24/7, anywhere, anytime into their business through the eyes of a camera, right? So they can visually see what's going on and happening, manage the operations, manage the protocols, dwell times, wait times, and really see what's going on without being there.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of companies that are providing surveillance services. What differentiates CamCloud?
Sure. So the differentiator that we have is that we are appliance free. Most businesses, most surveillance companies, what they do is they say, hey, customer, you need to purchase a server, right? And then they buy that server, and then it goes down, or a hard drive fails, or power goes out, or for whatever reason something happens to where 9 out of 10 times when they go to look at that video, guess what? It's not there. They didn't get a notification because it was offline, and the video is just gone. Well, why are you buying a surveillance system that potentially you can't even use? So we say, you know what? Let's eliminate as many points of failure as humanly possible, right? So we've taken that server away and we've built the guts, or server to say, inside the camera itself so that it creates this locked, secure 24-bit encryption connection from the camera to the cloud. It's secure 100% and allows you to have video the same way, except now you don't have to log into every single location. You can tie in multiple locations under one login for a customer and have as many cameras, as many sites as you want without adding any extra hardware on site.
That's certainly useful and impressive. Are there limitations on as far as the number of cameras that a business can have installed?
Limitations technically run around internet, right? You could say the same thing when you're at your house and you stream YouTube, right? So what we always like to teach people is, especially the resellers, is that when you're going to try and sell active cloud surveillance, or any cloud surveillance for that matter, whether it's VoIP, you test the speeds, right? You find out what the speeds are. For example, at my house, I pay $69 a month for a gigabit of speed, a gig, right? So that's up, down. You know how many cameras I can put on for a gig at my house?
10, 12, 100?
12, try 3,000, right? So with 3,000 cameras at my house with a gig up and a gig down, I think it suffices pretty much everything. Now, not everybody has that type of speed, right? I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. Maybe in Miami or somewhere else out in the boonies, you might not have it, but you've got to ask the questions. And when we talk about limitations, that's really it. So if I say the one limitation that you potentially have is just a question away, it's not that difficult. So value of cloud is way more than an on-prem service.
Now, do you have your own line of cameras, or what do businesses have access to?
Great question. So we are just a software company. We actually don't sell any hardware, but our platform is one of the first open platforms which allows you to pick and bring your own camera. So if you're used to selling Axis cameras, bring Axis. If you're used to selling Samsung cameras, bring Samsung, and so on and so forth. With that said, we have approved cameras that we recommend work the best on our platform. And SkySwitch does a really great job of actually providing those cameras that they recommend, that we recommend to them, within the reseller portal.
What's the cost model? Obviously, there's a recurring revenue opportunity here for the resellers.
Absolutely. That's why we're all here, right? Recurring revenue. So what we've done is that we've made it extremely easy. If you want 7 days of storage, you pay for 7 days of storage per month per camera. So you want 14 days, you want 30 days. That way you don't have to calculate how many bits am I using, or bytes, or megabits, or nobody really knows. I don't even know how to do it, you know. So at the end of the day, it's easier for the business and the customer to be sold or talked about, hey, how many days would you like to go back? And that's the model.
Makes a lot of sense. What kind of businesses typically are going to be interested in using CamCloud?
Sure. Any business that wants to look into their store when they're not there, kind of covers them all, right? Now the winners, the really sweet spots, are your Jersey Mikes, your Subways, your Marriott hotels. We talked about it in the beginning, you know, the low-hanging fruit. And the low-hanging fruit are the guys that you really don't have to convince to buy cloud or sell the value-added services. When we compare an upfront cost to, hey, am I going to spend $3,000 upfront to buy a server, and then have to pay maintenance fees because it breaks down and people have to come get it, and then all the ongoing work? Or am I going to spend $1,000 upfront for the cameras and then just pay a monthly fixed fee every month and know that everything's going to be okay? What would you do? And that's your low-hanging fruit at that point. When we get into more strategic sales like airports or larger deployments, it's what we call a deployment type 2. And a deployment type 2 says, okay, where are your critical cameras? What's a critical, can you guess, what's a camera that you could never lose the footage on if you were in a store that dealt with money?
Probably the one looking at the registers or the safe.
You got it. So those are called critical cameras, right? So when we say, hey, I know you have to have your on-prem service because you got so many cameras, you don't have enough bandwidth, but what cameras can you not afford to lose? Your back doors, your entrances, your IDF closets, your safes, your registers. Right. These are your critical cameras. So when we say, hey, what businesses, that means everybody, right? When we look at this huge venue here at Lowe's, they probably have 300-400 cameras here. Not one, I guarantee you, is going to the cloud because it's a newer way, a newer mentality. You know how many times their servers have crashed though? I mean, you're looking 15 to 20% failure on hardware, right? And especially when you don't replace it.
So what does it take, you know, how easy is it to sell customers on that transition from on-prem to cloud? You know, a similar conversation that we have with other communications services. So
the easiest sales that we have here are if the server dies, right? They got to replace it, right? So then you're walking in there and you're saying, hey, guess what? You don't have to spend $3,000 anymore. Just pay X, right? Especially with an OpEx model, it's a really good approach. If, for example, you're trying to go in there and sell somebody that already has a system, well, that's when you have to really convince them, well, do I really need it? No. All you have to do is say, hey, we're going to go ahead and put cloud in. You've been having all these problems with this on-prem solution. Well, now you can decide to leave the on-prem there, and we're going to go ahead and record, and you start using our platform. Or, guess what? I'll take your little on-prem device, I'll go outside, I'll do a little office approach to it, you know, beat it down like fax machine or the copier, and have a good day. Because we can utilize, because we're an open platform, we can utilize 90% of the cameras that are already in play. So they don't have to sell them new cameras, they don't have to do this, they don't have to do that. They just focus on the recurring side of it and then providing a cloud solution to their customer.
Yeah. Certainly a lot of exciting stuff. Sounds like a great model. Thank you for joining me here this morning. Enjoy the rest of the show here at Vectors.
Thank you for the opportunity.